Okay, we live with it. We live with it. Ushering in those who are meant to receive this message. Preparing the space. Preparing the vibes. Clearing the vibes. Con palo santo. Limpiando el viento, el aire, el espíritu. Llamándolo, dance, por favor. El mensaje. Ven acá. Just preparing the space and the energy for this very, very urgent message, this much needed message. I have to get it out to you. This message here is going to be about dreams, how important our dreams are. Please forgive me, my voice, my throat chakra has been so attacked these last few days. But we gonna keep it moving. That's just a part of it. That's a part of the way things go. For those who don't know me, my name is K Reno, K the Divinator, K or Kai. Either one is true, either one is right. More ringing in the ear. So give me a second. I'm gonna go grab a sheet of paper so I can write some things down. I don't want to disrupt the camera, so I'll need a note-taking sheet. So hang tight for me. Bienvenidos, beautiful people. Mi gente. ¿Cómo estás? How are you? ¿Cómo están ustedes? How are you? How are you? So we got a very important message. It's super urgent. I've been experiencing some intense dreams, very vivid dreams, over the last, well, of course, all my life, but specifically in the last few days, it's been revved up. And so this message has been coming through. Channeling disrupted sleep, lightheadedness, also channeling confusions, lack of clarities, followed by instant severe clarities. How are you, beautiful? I have been experiencing some heavy throat chakra attacks, but we're here, we're live, you know, it's all good. It just reminds me that there are pushbacks against expression when that happens. So, you know, you just got to take care of yourself, balance your chakras, any chakras that are out of balance. So if you guys read the title, and forgive me, I have a terrible habit of not really knowing exactly what I title things, but I know it has to do with our dreams. This is a channeled message. I do live channeled messages, which means that I receive intuitional nudges or informations or wisdoms that I am called by way of my purpose to disseminate it out to those who it's meant for. These messages only really make it to those who it's intended for. So I am essentially, I'm a channeler. I'm a spirit guide. I'm a shaman. I am a shaman essentially by my bloodline. My bloodline imparted it onto me to carry this torch. Different aspects of my lineage. My Native American background in particular has summoned me as a shaman. but also other aspects of my bloodline have put it on me and on my heart and on my purpose to break generational curses and to do some things as well. So I would love to do a Q&A. I want to get the message out because this is really specific to dreams, but just to give you that respect and answer the question, you become one based on, it depends on your situation. Like, it depends on you. It depends on if you feel that this is a calling in your life. It starts out with just a thought, just a little voice maybe in your mind, in your head, or feelings that you're receiving. And if you feel that you fall in line with some of these ideas, then you start to do that inner work and you start to search and understand if this is your path. Then you tap further into your gifts. You tap further into your spiritual gifts known as the clairs, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, things like that, which everyone has their own set of gifts, their psychic abilities. But also there are individuals who your bloodline may carry many messengers, many prophetic speakers. Depending on your religion, there might be other titles, but maybe depending on society that you've been grown up in, or depending on how your family raised you, or how well your family knows their history, you may or may not have been exposed to the idea of being a channeler, a messenger, a chosen one, whatever kind of terminology that you resonate with. So you have to follow that path in yourself. And there are a ton of, well, I wouldn't say a ton, but there's a good amount of YouTubers that can touch on this topic. You just got to look it up. How do I know if I'm a reader, a channeler, a messenger, a chosen one? And so you can, or a shaman, you can ask these kind of questions and look up these type of titles, and you'll get a bunch of videos that shows you if you experience these signs, you may be. So thank you guys so much for just tapping in. I do honestly want to get to the questions, but let me go ahead and start channeling some messages first. And then I'll throw some info about me in there a little bit later. Okay? So dreams are more than just dreams. I'm pretty sure that's what I titled this. Dreams are more than just dreams. So at this time, because you guys are attracted to this message and this message is called to you, you have to take heed of what your dreams are telling you. And you may not know how to decipher that, and that's totally fine. Everyone's at a different level of, just a different level of mastery when it comes to that. I, for one, haven't felt for very long that I knew how to decipher my dreams. But as you heal yourself in different ways and as you expand your evolution, you start to realize what these different things mean, how you can connect the dots from what you're experiencing in your dream state to things that are occurring in the physical realm and otherwise. So what I'm receiving is that for some of you, these messages are saying here, there are entities or energies that they don't want the best for you. They want the best for them. And it's interesting because once you get to a certain level of awareness and a certain level of acceptance with how we function in this universe or how things operate, then you realize that even if you have an opposition, even if you have a tension between you and another energy, or there's either repulsion, like repelling against someone, or a dissonance, or a flow, whichever way it goes, you realize that it's all different sides of a coin, but it's the same coin, and everything's connected. Everything has a connection to another thing, no matter what it is. So you kind of learn, or you grow to have the wisdom to abandon the need to put so much emphasis on a difference between yourself and something else. Now, distinction is vital. Everything is unique. Everything is its own thing. When you're there's this concept that's coming up from spirit, from the guides, about the quantum field. And so the quantum field, at least to my current understanding, has everything to do with the state of no thing, the state of no thing. So it's the existence of everything before it becomes a thing of matter. So how we have physical bodies, we have matter. Our bodies are matter. The clothes we wear, that's matter. But then you imagine your soul, or energies that you can't necessarily see with the naked eye. Those things are still, I would urge to say, like, it's still a different form, but it's not necessarily matter though. So when you're thinking about where do things that have a physical form stem from, it stems from that quantum field where it was once just, it wasn't a thing. It was, before it was a thought, before it was concepted, it had to come from somewhere. So you can do more research on that. I'm not trying to get too deep into that in a way that if I can't fully explain it, I don't want to try to pretend like I can. But that's my understanding from it. So look into the quantum field and understand that when we have these different realms that many people speak of, not just the 3D or the 2D or the 1D, but 4D, 5D, and so on, all that encompasses these different realms that are around us, or depending on what realms you can actually access based on your density, based on how light does or does not pass through you, based on how darkness is or isn't encompassed within you, then you can start to understand that there are different layers and densities that occur in the dream state that don't necessarily look the same for the 3D. So when you're experiencing things in your dream state, you may not get a full logical understanding of what those things mean, but you can feel certain things. And that's why authenticity is so vital when you are in your dream states or in your REM sleep. You're going to be experiencing things, or you've already been experiencing things that may make more sense through feeling and through nonverbal like you would assess these things maybe non-verbally, or you could even assess them visually. Like you may see certain things in your dreams, but it may not make sense in a typically logical or scientific way. Yeah, like this is the thing, T Nasty. It's not meant to be. So the way that the messages work for you, I can't tell you what's important for you. Like I can sense things and I bring them up. Spirits tell me to say things that's for those that it's intended for. So if it doesn't resonate with you and it doesn't apply to you, then perhaps it's not your message, or perhaps it's something that you will click or lock into at another point in time, because time is not really a construct. But I imagine that you're here because there's something I'm saying that could resonate with you or needs to resonate with you, even if consciously you don't understand why. But yes, this is basically general because I'm explaining. I'm called to be explanatory over these concepts where a lot of people don't even understand this. You know what I'm saying? Like some people don't even know where to start, or they don't even understand how to interpret the little things, or the big concept, I should say. So getting deeper into some things, it definitely can be a little confusing. And that was one of the channel messages. I said confusion, lightheadedness, maybe a sense of murky until clarity snaps in. Like these are all things that I'm channeling from the collective that I'm speaking on for this dream state message. So don't worry. Definitely only take what resonates. And when I say that, I'm really saying like you're accessing your intuition to make sense of what's meant for you. So your intuition will guide you away from things such as danger or inauthenticities. And if you are listening to your intuition, which is usually a softer nudge, it's usually something that is not loud unless things around you in your mind, soul, space, and in your mind, your soul, your heart, those sorts of things in your soul are quiet. But if you're if any of those spaces within you are on the louder side, the intuition would sound more soft to you. It wouldn't be the loudest voice in your head unless things around you go silent. So with that being said, I'm channeling that this collective in particular is very sympathetic. Like, you guys have a way of feeling, well, empathy, right? Like, you feel for someone else because you've been in that position. But sympathetic meaning there are things that you sense off of others that maybe you would identify yourself as not necessarily having gone through, but you still feel for them and you still understand. Let's see. Um yes, yes, in a sense. So I'm putting these messages out. It's not, I'm a messenger. So these messages aren't just me pulling from my own personal thoughts and beliefs. Like, yes, I do align with some things and it makes sense to me at times, but other times I will say messages that I don't really know why I'm saying them or who they're intended for. But I have to say it because I'm called spiritually to say these things. So there are so many times where I say things and someone will come back to me at a later time or a later moment and say, this specifically clicked for me because of XYZ. Now, most people will not tell me how these messages resonate unless I'm doing personals. When I do my personals, that's a different story, but it depends on the individual. Some people want to receive messages from me and they don't want to have to answer to me as to how it made sense to them. Whereas other individuals will be quick to say, I caught chills, like you said this, and it clicked for me because they're aligning within themselves in a certain kind of way that makes sense for their growth and evolution. Or even just simply put, things start clicking. They start lining up and clicking for you. Or it could be as simple as you hear a certain word and then because you heard or felt that word or received that word on some frequency, you start seeing it popping up. Like, prime example for you guys in terms of the dream states. So I had a dream last night. I had multiple dreams last night, but I had a particular dream last night where I was watching a big sporting event. It was like a world stage sporting event. I can't even tell you what the sport was because that wasn't the point of the dream, but everyone was paying attention to this game and I was having trouble focusing on it, but I was still there. And despite whatever things I was going through as far as my attention feeling distracted, my attention being in other places, me feeling like an intense hunger, like an insatiable hunger. And so there was an individual on the field in the dream that I had a connective moment with that individual, but it took their eyes off the game. And that individual was honestly like the least violent player, like the least focused on winning the game, so to speak. They had a deeper purpose, a higher purpose. So them connecting with me in that situation, and out of nowhere there was a flurry of conflict, and then this person got electrocuted on the field. Now, mind you, from me clicking into the reality that I was lucid dreaming, which is another way of saying that you are consciously aware in the midst of that dream state, and realizing that, wow, this is actually happening. It's not necessarily occurring in the 3D right at this moment, but it is occurring in the 4D. And this is very real. So experiencing that, I'm seeing this individual get electrocuted in broad daylight, and it felt like it was not a natural electrocution. Like, it was not necessarily lightning from the sky. So it mortified me. Like, I was shocked, and that was my instant reaction. mind you, there was other individuals who were laughing, and well, everyone had, it was a mixed bag. It wasn't just laughs, but a good amount of people were laughing, and I thought, how twisted is this? Like, how strange is this? But of course, if something like this were to happen in real life, or sorry, 3D, everyone would have an opinion. Everyone would have something to say about why they giggled or why they laughed, or were they being a follower, or were they being cynical, were they in a joker mind state of everyone suffers, everyone experiences torment. Or somebody else might say, I laughed because I felt that person was being released from hell on earth. Now they're electrocuted, they can go be free. It's so many perspectives, right? But in the dream, I was so perplexed because I'm like, why did this happen, especially to this individual? There were so many other players on that field that I felt like, why does the one that I connect with have to experience this? Now, I got off, that's funny. I got out of the dream state, and when I woke up, I let some time pass, some things happened, like I had to, like kids going to school, blah, blah, blah. But when I started to channel some things and really meditate on these dreams, I pulled some cards. A card came out about dream states. And I'm like, okay, well, all I've been thinking about is dreams this morning. So let's dig further. Next card that comes out, no laughing matter. The card said no laughing matter. I'm like, okay. I pull another card. It says refer to the Bible. So if I can find the verse, and mind you, like, I'm not particularly a Christian, but understand that when you get to a level of it and of enlightenment, you can find wisdom and respect in the knowledge of any religion, period. No matter what the religion is, when you remove that judgment and you remove the ego from the things you're experiencing, at least to a certain degree of non-judgment, you learn so much. So I came into, I trusted my spirits would guide me to what needed to be received. And I think I can find it. Just give me 1 second. I know for sure it was Job. It was the book of Job. For those who may or may not know, Job is understood in the Bible for his patience. So, but not, his patience was rooted in all of his trial and tribulation. So Job 8:17, where Job acknowledges God's justice. So I just want to say something. So I'm getting to a point. I know this seems tangible, but because you asked. So Job ended up processing some of the things between him and God. And honestly, I'm paraphrasing, like, please, I do not need Bible thumpers like killing me over this right now. I'm just sharing my perspective and how I interpret, and that's just always how it's going to be. But it says here, behold, God will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers. And then further down in stanza 9, I think that's what you call it, forgive me, but it says, he is wise in heart and mighty in strength, who hath hardened himself against him and who hath prospered. So to me, that meant those who are wise, those who seek authenticity and truth and understanding, as well as understanding and overstanding, are the ones who are the strongest. Those are the ones who have seen it all, or seen as much as they were called to see, and have walked through the fire of what that meant to get back to their true selves. And of course, in a Christian belief, that would mean returning to God and standing on that vibration of conviction. And the connection that I made further down, I ran into the word laugh on 2 occasions in this particular page This was a page that the spirits guided me to. My eyes were closed. I opened the book. No extra personal influence over where I was being led to. But for me to, let me read it first. I'll read it and then I'll make the connection. So, okay. So after I mentioned that stanza about God not casting away a perfect man, but neither helping the evildoers, it said, till he filled thy mouth with laughing and lips with rejoicing, they that hate thee shall be clothed with shame, and the dwelling place of the wicked shall come to naught. So what I received from that was, well, while God is not necessarily gonna just outright assist an evildoer, because it is upon one's own will to be who they're gonna be. While you may have a destiny and while you may have a fate, your destiny is based on your choices. Fate are things you can't avoid. But destiny, on the other hand, you can make some choices that's going to determine whether or not you fulfill that destiny or you don't. And so in this case, individuals who spend their time laughing at others, laughing at the innocent, putting those on trial who essentially don't deserve it, but based on the wickedness of that entity or that individual, they will justify themselves. And so God will not go to bat for you in those ways, because it is up to you to find the God within yourself, or to find that wisdom in your heart. But it comes back to this point of laughter, because when I was in my dream, I experienced these entities around me laughing at someone's pain, laughing at someone's tribulation. And mind you, it's showing me here in this, it says further down, let me see. If the scourge slay suddenly, he will laugh at the trial of the innocent. So this just lets me know that someone who is quick to speak in a out of turn, or to jump at the opportunity to be a part of a wickedness, you can already get the sense that that person is going to pass a judgment on an individual that doesn't quite deserve it. Like there's an innocence attached to that person that someone else is seeking to abuse. And so that has something to do with everyone in this collective right now when I'm speaking on dream states, because there are certain things that you're going to be experiencing in your dreams that are to bring you into the mentality of understanding your wisdoms. It's going to bring you into an awareness of certain things that you may not necessarily interpret the same in the physical realm, but it's being given to you in other ways so that you can suspend the judgments off of how you should be processing this information, especially for individuals that don't really consider themselves too spiritual or too lofty, because there are a lot of individuals who look for a certain logic to explain their day-to-day experiences. Science in itself, depending on the person who's attached to this belief system, science is a study of the natural world. It's a study of the external world. It is not the study of the inner world. People who use science to explain the things around them or explain the phenomena that are going on within themselves, there will always be a missing piece, because there's ways in which you have to receive wisdom and receive knowledge through yourself in your inner world, which is why as a channeler, I understand that if I meditate, the spirits will talk to me. I understand that if I go within and I just suspend all judgment over my thoughts, I can observe my thoughts and see which ones are mine personally, that like created from my own mind, versus ones that are implanted to me through telepathy, through others sending me vibrations my way that I didn't particularly conjure or ask for in any direct or forthright way. But also as a channeler, it's like a radio transmitter. Like there's always things coming in and out. And so it's similar for the dream state. Like there are certain things coming in and out, whether you see it as your ancestors, as individuals that want to attach themselves to you vibrationally, for good, bad, or indifferent reasons, intentions, I should say. And so all of this has a place. All of this matters. Let's see. So yeah, so you get this understanding within yourself of what these little clues, they might just start off as clues, they might just start off as symbols, or something that resonates with you and stuck with you, may not make any kind of sense, but you know yourself, and you're learning yourself, you're learning to understand what these things mean. And so you have to be willing to go through that confusion to get to the clarity. That's a really big message here. It also, in terms of sympathy, is you being willing to understand that if you don't have a direct experience to draw on about something, that's not an excuse to shut your sights off to it. It may be there to teach you something. And because I get the sense that this is a sympathetic collective, there are times where you are willing to feel for someone, even if you can't directly explain that you relate to what they're feeling. I'm hearing past lives. So you may have very strong feelings of past life experiences where you may not have been through certain things in this lifetime, but it's a distant familiar feeling because you may have very well felt it or went through that thing in another life, even if it was just a different iteration of it. You see what I'm saying? Thank you so much. I have a beautiful family, partner, children, but I appreciate that. I show love. I love to just reciprocate that. So thank you. I keep it respectful. That's all I ask. Yes, indeed. So just to tap into some questions I see here, I do personal readings. If you want a personal reading, you can find my email, crystalcays@gmail.com. It's in the bio of my videos. It's in my main description bio. So just get at me. I take it very serious. I schedule things in properly. So get it going with me if you wish. But we're going to keep at the message. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock. 3, 4, 5 on the clock. 5, 3, 2 on the clock. And 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 11, 11. These may be significant to you. 33, 11, and 33, 13. Okay. Okay. We got Padre Cielo, Father Sky. So what this is and the Sun. So a lot of paternal energy here. A lot of masculine energy here. Yang energy here. This has to do with the actions that you're taking. Realizing, I'm hearing like the beat to your own drum. I'm hearing the beat of a drum. So imagine like how when you're beating a drum, there's a certain rhythm you find and it just keeps the energy going cyclically. That's very significant, but take what resonates. I'm also hearing like the way a heartbeat can be correlated to the idea of a drum. And for those who don't really know, the heart runs on those electrical pulses. A heart is not really just an encasing of meat. It can be unraveled. And what keeps it in its form and its contractions and expansions are those electrical pulses. So I'm hearing that's relevant for somebody. Heart conditions leveling out. Heart conditions are healing. I'm also hearing that. I'm hearing pieces to the pie. I'm hearing it's for whatever your solidarity. So individuals coming together for you. You coming together with other individuals is significant at this time. So analyze your dreams as best you can. I would say meditate on it, ask your spirit team Ask your creator, your whatever you believe in, what those things mean in your dream. And then also be willing to trust it even if it sounds crazy to somebody else. That's a big message right here. Okay. Let's see. We got a big chunk. Yeah, I kid you not. So much fire, air, energy, like nothing. It's nothing else but fire in there. So it's a ton of masculine energy here. So I get, so how I was speaking so heavily about the logic mind, that lets me know that, excuse me, maybe you guys have a little doubt in what your spiritual abilities are. Maybe you have a little doubt on the ethers, the ethereal nature that is usually associated with the feminine. It is associated with the feminine, you know, the moon cycles, the dream states, the subconscious, the feminine energies like that. So you have to trust how that aspect shows up in you. You have to be able to suspend judgment of yourself, suspend judgment of the signs and symbols that you're receiving, so that you can connect the dots in a pure way, in a way that you can trust, in an authentic way. Because we what do we have here? Okay, we got Three of Wands reversed, Knight of Swords, Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands. And I've been pulling Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands. I pulled it 3 times today. So what that's letting me know is that there are some battles between the decisions that one is making, how they're trying to move forward in a rapid pace way, but then needing to balance what that looks like with the thoughts that you're having. Because the thing about fire signs is that it's predicated on an impulse. Impulse is not necessarily aligned with the thought process. It's like if you get a good idea and you just want to maneuver into that idea quickly, you still gotta have the the thought process behind it to carry this out in a way that coincides with not only physics, well, not only metaphysics, but physics as well, depending on what it is. So when you're willing to tap into your feminine, that creative energy, that energy that allows you to see things in a more unique, elusive sort of way, then you start to put the pieces together as to how you can bring something into fruition in a very finite way, but also understanding those non-finite things that are going on, so that you don't get stagnated or burnt out. There are things that you're gonna be coming into contact in your intuitively into your mind, your ideas, your focuses. It's not gonna resonate with everybody, but it starts with you respecting what's coming through your dreams. If you don't feel that connected with your dreams, allow that to come in. It's gonna do wonders for how you experience this physical realm. And also take the pressure off too. There's not just one right way to do things. It's just about that authenticity at a core level, because that's when you sober up the most about the things that you feel you're experiencing, where things are the least distorted. Let's see. Yes, of course. Is that Alina? Forgive me, I don't have my contacts nor glasses on. So, of course, I'm super grateful. I am more than thankful that this is resonating with not just myself, but you as well. That's what I'm hoping for. Please do lock in. I do lives as much as I can. Honestly, physical health is so crazy because I've been in some of the best health of my life, but these last few days, I've been really feeling those attacks. Those spiritual attacks have been trying to manifest themselves physically. So I know this is something that just has to pass. But I'm going to do my best to stay on these lives. I know that there are a ton of individuals receiving so much from it. So please stay locked in as best you can. That notification bell, of course. But I'm here for you guys. I'm here to be here to build this community with you so that everybody's on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful, beautiful. Que amable. I'm glad to hear it. So that's feeling like the message, you beautiful people. That's really it. Please do be willing to share after I hop off this live. You know, it'll be available, so you can always come revisit it or check out any of my other messages that are pre-recorded. I have so many on my page, so don't even trip. Just go to the ones that you feel intuitively guided to, and I hope you get the most from it. That's really all I wish and I hope out of this. But with that being said, I'm going to lead you into your day with farewell and positive energy, and I'll catch you next time around.